Welcome everybody. Now today's topic is different topic. We are not going to solve any problems or such things. The topic is more of a theoretical type, and the title of the topic is Inversions in Mechanisms. Inversions in mechanisms. Now, what are inversions? Maybe first write down one or two lines what the inversions are all about, and then we'll discuss what it is. So write down inversions are different mechanisms. Inversions are different mechanisms obtained by fixing different links of a same kinematic chain. Different links of a same kinematic chain. The number of inversions is equal to the number of links in a kinematic chain. Okay, so that is some information about what the inversion is all about. Inversion is a mechanism, and we are getting different mechanisms by fixing different links of a same kinematic chain. Now, before we go further, we will see that we have already come across inversion in our earlier discussion. Only we were not knowing that it is an inversion. Just go back and recollect. We have learnt gear trains. So let me draw one gear train. So there is one gear like this, and there is another gear like this. Okay, we have drawn a gear like this, and then we say that this is fixed. So I can draw this as a link, and this link is fixed. So now there are total 3 links. One is this link which is fixed, then there is this gear which is second link, and this is the third link. So now when you rotate one gear, other gear will rotate, and this is called as a simple gear train, which all of you know. So out of 3, one is fixed, and then you get this mechanism. Now suppose we release one and we fix 2. So I'll draw the figure again. I'll draw, let's say, 2 like this. Then 1 is here, 3 is here. 1. Same mechanism, I have just drawn vertical, and now I am going to fix link number 2, and then we are going to rotate link number 1. This link number 1 was fixed here, now we are rotating link number 1. So as you know, what happens is, link number 3, which is a gear, it starts rolling like a wheel, and then it takes one round. So you get a different kind of arrangement, and we know that this gear train is called the epicyclic gear train. So this is a simple gear train, which all of you know, and it is epicyclic gear train. So we have got 2 different types of gear trains by fixing 2 different links of a same kinematic chain. So this is nothing but a kind of an inversion. So there is one inversion and another inversion, and so on. Okay. So what we have written just now as a definition is, inversions are different mechanisms which you get by fixing different links of a same kinematic chain. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to learn now the inversions of 4-bar mechanism, which we have written here. Inversions of slider and crank mechanism we will see. Inversions of slider and a crank mechanism. So we have, let me draw the mechanism first, which all of you know, already know. So we call this as link number 1, this is link number 2, this is 3, and this is 4, and we are fixing link number 1, and we are giving input to one of the links like 2 and then 4 slides. So we know this. So what we already know like this is called as first inversion. So this is first inversion. And in the first inversion, link number 1 is fixed. So by fixing link number 1, we are getting the first inversion, which we already know, where the rotation is given to the crank and the piston oscillates, or If the piston is given oscillation, then the crank rotates. When the piston is input, crank is output, that is IC engine. Maybe you can write that. 4 is input at 4 and output at 2. This is IC engine. And the other way, that means 2 is input and 4 is output. This is compressor. Because you are inputting here, energy is input here, and this will go on oscillating. So this is used as a pump, and we are pumping the air into the chamber, and that chamber works as a compressed air tank. So this becomes an example of a compressor. If this is the input and this is the output. But basically all these things what we are talking about is first inversion, because link number 1 is fixed. Okay. So now we'll see link number. So now the next inversion is second inversion, where we are fixing link number 2 and releasing link number 1 and getting some different type of mechanism, which we'll draw here. Just note down this much. Okay, so now let us see second inversion. In this case, link number 2 is fixed, and of course link number 1 is released. So when you do that, let me draw the mechanism, how it looks like. This is link number 2. I am drawing it vertical, and then link number 1 is drawn like this. One, two, three, and this is 4. So now this same mechanism I have drawn in this position. Now link number 1, which is shown here, which is drawn like this. So you can think of this was link number 1. So what is shown here as a cylinder, something which is hollow in which the other part is moving. So this part is link number 1. Okay. As you have seen earlier, the shape is not important. Shape can be anything. You have to take the concept. So link number 1 looks like this, and inside link number 1, link number 4 is sliding. So this was the same thing, but the only difference is this link number 2 is fixed, and link number 3, which is connected to link number 4, is here, and 4 is sliding. Now here what happens is, maybe you are giving input to link number 3, and when this 3 rotates, 1 also will oscillate like this, and 4 will slide like this. So different links will have different kind of motions. 1 will oscillate like this, 3 will perform complete rotation, and 4 will perform sliding action. So this is called the Whitworth. Whitworth quick return mechanism, that is the name of this mechanism, and this is how it works. All what you have to know is link number 2 in this case is fixed. So length of the link number 2 is normally smaller than all the other links. Okay. So this is the second inversion. By fixing link number 2, we get like this. Now let's see the third inversion. So let's take the third inversion. I'll write here third inversion. Here link number 3 is fixed. So now the arrangement I will again draw. It's almost similar. Now this is link number 3, which is longer. So now link number 3 is longer, link number 2 is shorter. So some change is made and otherwise it is same. So 2, 3, 1 and 4. And this is longer than 2. So this is called link number 3, which is fixed. And you are getting something similar. This is called the crank and slotted lever. This is example, crank and slotted lever example mechanism is an example of third inversion where link number 3 is fixed. So having seen this, now let's go to the fourth inversion where link number 4, that is this box is fixed, the slider is fixed. Let's see how this is done. Just jot down. So now fourth inversion, by fixing link number 4. Now before we understand the mechanism, we will just make some preliminary say sketches. So let me draw the first inversion itself. So this is the first inversion, link number 1 is fixed, which all of you know. Now I'll just make some modification in the same figure. It is still the same, and this is representing link number 1. Now basically what you see here is 4 and 1, they are having relative motion. One of the thing is fixed, the other is moving like this. Okay, so just let us make some change here, and I'll draw the same figure like this. Now, is there any difference in this two? Now, which is the inversion here? It is still link number 1 is fixed. So, this is still inversion number 1. Only thing is, 1 is fixed link, here also 1 is fixed link, but the fixed link is here and the sliding link, link number 4 is sliding. So, the link which slides is sliding inside the link number 1. 4 is sliding inside the link number 1. Here, 4 is sliding from outside the link number 1. 4 is sliding from outside the link number 1. Otherwise, everything is same. And there is a relative motion between 1 and 4. So there is no change. Still it is inversion number 1. Now what we do is, this same figure I will draw vertical. Same figure, let me draw it vertical as it is. So it will come like this. Now what I'll do here is, this 4 is shown here, which I will fix. That means the same figure is drawn, but the difference is 1 is released and 4 is fixed. So this is same, except now 4 is fixed, this outside is fixed now, and 1 which was fixed here now is released. And this is given some extension. So I'll maybe draw, there's no shape, there's no place here. Link number 3. So link number, rather 2. Link number 2 is expanded. Everything else is same. And in the saddle crank mechanism, we have fixed link number 4. So what is written here is now drawn here. Well, just to come to this, we have drawn some 2 supporting figures in order to reach at this place. And now this is the mechanism. So we have fixed link number 4. Now what you see here? Whatever you see here is an example of, are you familiar with this? This is nothing but hand pump. It's a hand pump. How this is a hand pump? Because the outside body is fixed, which is a cylinder, and inside piston is going to move. So when I am going to operate it like this, that time this piston is going to move up and down like this, and then the valve arrangement, whatever is made here, because of that valve arrangement, the water is lifted up and then it comes out from here. Okay, I have not drawn all that, but you will know that from this place there is a water outlet, and here inside there is a valve that is placed here at this place, and at this place there is a valve. So when you bring it down, one valve is open, the other valve is closed, so water gets lifted up, and when it pushes up, that time the water goes out. So according to this movement, the water gets pumped up, and then this works as a hand pump. So hand pump is an inversion of a slider and crank mechanism when link number 4 is fixed. So we have seen 4 different links. When they are fixed, we are getting 4 different types of inversions. Link number 1, first inversion, that is IC engine. Link number 2, second inversion, that is a Whitworth pick return mechanism. Link number 3, that is the inversion number 3, which is a crank and slotted lever mechanism. And link number 4, when you fix like this, then you get a hand pump as another example. So these are the inversions, and by inversions what we mean is, by fixing different links, we get different types of mechanisms. Okay. So maybe some short notes sometimes you may be asked on this topic. Otherwise, this is just a theoretical topic. So inversions we are learned only to the extent of taking the inversions of 4-bar mechanisms, but you can take. So there are some other examples, many other examples are there, but for our syllabus we are restricting only to the extent of the inversions of a 4-bar mechanism, the slider crank mechanism. There could be double slider crank mechanism also there, whose inversions are also existing. So many other things are existing. In fact, the mechanisms has got lot of wide scope. Several different mechanisms exist, and there is no limit to what different things they can give. So we are restricting ourselves to the extent of understanding what the inversion is, and this is the example of that. Okay. So now we'll take up the next topic. That topic is some special mechanisms we will learn after this. So just make a good note down of this. Okay, so now let us take different examples of mechanisms. So mechanisms. Pantograph. Let us see what is a pantograph mechanism all about. So let me draw that mechanism first. So that mechanism, it looks like a So it is like a parallelogram, so the opposite links are of same length. Okay, and then what is done here is only this point is fixed, only one point is fixed, and then link number 3 is extended like this. Same link. It is the same link. So link number 3 is expanded like this. Now what is happening is, if you think about this end, which is free end and this is a fixed end, and if you join this by a line, and if you consider this point and this point, I will call this point as small p and I will call this point as capital P. Now what happens is, this small p and capital P, it has got certain relation. It means, suppose I fit one pen here, this pen is fitted here, and suppose I draw, let us say, one shape. So by a pen fitted here, I have drawn a shape like this. Then what will happen is, there is another pen fitted here. This pen will also draw a shape, which will be same shape, but of a larger size. The shape of this is larger than the shape of this. Okay, so the ratio from this point to this point, and this length and this length, whatever is the ratio, according to that ratio, you are going to get enlargement of this figure. So this kind of a mechanism is used. It is called the pantograph, and it is used for the purpose of some such say requirements which are there. Say for example, when you are cutting some tool, so making some cutouts. So the cutout is made here, and the template, the standard template is kept here. So when the marker is moved on the template here, the cutter it starts cutting the metal from here. Okay, and the shape is going to be of certain ratio. Okay, so there are many applications of this. It's the other way also it is working. That means the template is here and the cutter is here, and the cutter is cutting very small parts. Suppose you want to cut something which is of a very small size. So controlling the small size becomes difficult. So what is done is, you are controlling this end